Welcome to Truth and Company Boxing Podcast for another segment of 20 random questions. I'm your host, John the Truth Dioria, and today's guest is former professional boxing champion Brian Minto. How you doing, Brian?
Good. Thanks for having me, man.
Appreciate you taking time to come on. So, for the fans that don't know, you've been retired for a couple years now. So, what's going on? Are you still involved in the sport? Are you doing any coaching? You hanging out in the gyms, or what's going on?
Yeah, I got my own little private gym in my house. And I coach kids. Yeah, trying to. I do training with the kettlebells too. So I do boxing. I do personal training. I don't really have any amateur fighters. I just kind of train kids that want to learn how to fight and stuff. But I've never been in the corner really, maybe one time. So I
Okay.
haven't fully committed to coaching, but I'm kind of a life coach. Like help people through struggles, like we all do throughout our life. We all struggle and uncertainties, and just help them overcome it.
So, do you attend any of the shows out in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I do. The commission had me working as a deputy on certain fights, but um, yeah. So I'm a boxing fan. I like to watch local fighters. We have a guy from Butler, Lucas Adams. He just fought in West Virginia, so we have some fighters around here. And
Okay. So, you ready for these random 20 questions?
I hope so.
All right. Question one: how did you get involved in the sport of boxing?
Well, as my first sport was football. I played football, and then I dabbled in boxing as a young teenager. Had some friends that were boxing, and invited me to the gym, and it was like kind of a winter workout for me. So in the wintertime, while I was playing football, we'd go into the boxing gym, and then I just learned and started boxing. But I after I graduated high school, I went to junior college and played football, and then I went to Slippery Rock University and played football. And then after that, I got back into boxing because I kind of flunked out of school, and then I went and put on. I was up to 250 pounds overweight, and I was like, I got to do something. So I just started amateur fighting in my probably mid 20s. I think I had 19 amateur fights. I went to the regional finals once, and then the guy in 2000 and the end of 2003 called me. He's like, "Hey, you want to fight a pro fight?" And I said, "Why not?" I did it for some extra Christmas money, and you know, ended up getting 18 fights in a year and a half. And it just, I believe that God's plan was for me to become a professional fighter. And we doubt ourselves sometimes, but at that point in my life, man, I just needed something. I was working on a Armstrong cable TV. I was on the line crew climbing telephone poles. Here I am at 28 years of age. I just got off the couch and started doing something, and it all panned out for me. So,
Yeah, you fought some big name fighters though too. It's not like you
yeah,
just had a boxing career and didn't fight anybody.
yeah. I remember laying on the couch when I was probably 26. I was watching, I think, De La Hoya and Arturo Gatti. And I was like, man, how cool would it be to fight on HBO? And, I was blessed to fight on there 2 times. So, you know, I guess my thing would be to inspire people, and so they can be positive and try to better yourself. Yeah, because I was just a worker and flunked out of college, and I was a pretty heavy drinker at that time and getting into trouble and that, and then had 2 kids living in the trailer. And hey, man, I made something of it. God bless me, and things went, you know, being disciplined. You got to be disciplined in life.
Okay, question two: who is the one fighter that you kind of wanted to fight that it just never happened, that you didn't get to fight?
Um, I can't really answer that. I mean, everybody wants to fight the champion, right? So at that time, I believe it was Klitschko. So everybody wants to get to the title. Um, I mean, I fought some guys that are, a lot taller than me. So I was looking at him one time when I went over to see when I went to fight Schultz in 2006. Him and his brother were there, and them guys are just giants compared to me. I'm like 5'10" and a half. So you like, even when I was over in London and Anthony Joshua, to see guys like that, man, the heavyweight division, they're so big right now. It's unbelievable.
Okay.
But yeah, so that would probably be, I'd say, Klitschko or whoever was the champ at the time.
Okay. All right. Question 3. What is something that your boxing fans don't know about you?
Let me see. Some people don't know that I think I have half brothers and half sisters. Both my parents were married probably 3 times before they got married. So, yeah, I had one, would you call it affinal brother, like in the same bloodline? And then I have step brothers and stepsisters from 2 different marriages my dad was in. So, but yeah, so maybe that's something. That's some kind of spilling the
Okay.
beans a little bit. Yeah.
All right. Question 4. What is the craziest or the funniest story that ever happened between you and a boxing fan? Any unusual stories with a fan?
No, I had one guy. He actually, when I fought Matt alone the first time, he drew me this picture and he ended up giving it to me, and it was kind of it was a cool picture. And then we kind of got a relationship to where he's calling me on the phone. Now I believe he's a boxing sports writer.
Oh, wow. That's pretty
So, yeah,
cool.
that's kind of cool. Yeah.
All right. Question 5. Would you do a cage dive with sharks?
No. I'm not into that. No.
Okay. Question 6. Who was the hardest puncher you've ever faced in the ring in a fight or sparring?
I've been hit hard a lot of times. So I would say the hardest I've ever been hit, I would say it's a toss up between Marco Huck and Areola. I mean, they both could punch. Anybody over 200 pounds, if they hit you with a 10-ounce glove on, it's going to hurt.
Okay. All right. Question 7. If you could meet any infamous person from history, who would you want to meet?
Rocky Marciano.
Yeah, but he's not really infamous.
Oh, infamous? You mean like a
Yeah, almost like a criminal type, like
yeah.
bad person.
Infamous, right? Yeah, okay. I don't know. I'm not really into evil, so I can't really say that I really want to meet anybody that's like that.
But I mean, you could it could be like
Interesting.
Bonnie and Clyde, Billy the Kid,
B.B. Cooper.
Yeah. Okay, BB Cooper. Hey, that
Whatever.
counts.
Yeah.
BB Cooper counts. All right, question 8. What animal best fits your personality?
Well, I have Rottweilers, so I would say a Rottweiler. Very loving, but when it's time to get to business, they know it's time to get to business. Yeah, so I have Rottweilers. I breed them so that they're kind of my midlife crisis thing. I got 6 of them right now, and I breed them, so it's kind of it taught me patience over the years. When I got out of boxing, I didn't know what to do with myself. So I was like, what do I do now? So I got 6 dogs. I got them from overseas, and I just, started breeding. And I mean, it took a while to get to a good place where I was at, but with the dogs but no,
All right.
that would be the animal.
All right. Question 9. If you were to go on a fishing trip for a week and you could choose 2 people to go with, one would have to be one of your friends and one would have to be a comedian. Who would you take on your fishing trip?
A comedian.
A comedian and one of your friends.
One of my friends. So, which friend would I take?
Which friend would you take and what comedian would you take?
What Mike Apps would be the comedian. I think he's hilarious, even though he's got some raunchy stuff on there. But, and my friend, take my wife. She's my best friend, so that's who I would take.
Okay. All right. Question 10. Who is your favorite opponent that you fought in your career?
Favorite opponent? I'd say Matt Alone. Me and him had 2 fights together. And we know we have no bad blood against each other.
Okay.
So I think Penny's a good guy.
Question 11. Can you tell me an interesting story out of your boxing career? Anything?
Yeah, well, I got one here. It's kind of a divine story. So 18 days before my fight against Axel Schultz, I broke my right thumb. It was called a Bennett's fracture. And I went to a doctor because it was my biggest payday. And I was like, my wife's like, you can't not fight. So, but anyways, ended up, I was prayed over on all the elders of the church and everything. And meanwhile, mentally, I was thinking, how am I going to get through this battle with this guy? I was thinking, how am I going to take a knee? But so it was 2 days before the fight. I was able to put the right glove on. So what I did, I think Tommy and Keller was my trainer at the time. So we just worked on the jab and the hooks off the jab. So my left got super I was using it more. So ended up, everything worked out. But then I got in the ring that night in front of 15,000 people. And mentally, I just felt like, man, okay, it's on. But so we'll go back a little bit. So 2 days before that fight, I was able to punch with my right hand. Before I couldn't punch, and I was punching 100%. So that's why I kind of say this is divine, healing that I had. And I was able to punch. I ended up knocking him out in the 7th round with the body shot to the liver. I mean, that was probably one of my most exciting moments in boxing, and truly was blessed by the Lord. And I have to say that was probably my best win, because mentally I wasn't there. I thought I was going to lose, and I didn't sleep the whole night before that. My mind was, I was actually just in prayer all night trying to pray. And then the next day I had this energy, man. I just had something about it. And I truly believe it was like the Holy Spirit that was getting me through that day. And that night when I got in the ring, I just looked at my coach. I said, I got him, because I seen the look in his face, and I don't think he was ready for that. So
did the thumb bother you at all during the fight?
No, afterwards a little bit, but it was healed. When I come back and I got it x-rayed, the doctor said you could see where it's calcified and healed, because he recommended, he's like, you shouldn't fight. And I was like, there's no way, I cannot, it was just, I couldn't say no. I mean, as a fighter, that's your job. You're to go provide and make money. And so, but I was truly blessed by the Lord on that, man. I'll tell you what. And it all worked out. I think it was about putting my trust in him, just letting my hands go that night. And it was definitely a cool night. I've never been in front of 15,000 people in an arena, so it was kind of cool. But yeah, it worked out, man. It was awesome.
So question 12, why did you box?
Just for extra Christmas money. That's what I did. I was working actually, I was the lineman for Armstrong with the local cable company. Then I got in the labor union, so I was a mason tender. So I carried brick and block 8 hours a day, mix mud. And then I would go to the gym. And the gym for me was an Ambridge, which is an hour away. So I would drive down there, train, come back. Did it, probably every day, Monday through Saturday. So that's, it was tough, but I was willing to go to any lengths to do what I had to do to get better at the craft, because that's how I learned. And Calvin Brock, he was a stablemate of mine. That's how I learned to fight. I would be sparring him. He was kicking my rear end, man, everywhere, because he was an Olympian, big amateur pedigree. But I just, every day I'd be like, man, I'm going to get him today. And that's what I was going to, I'm going to get him today, But that's how I learned to fight. And things just, I was blessed with athleticism. So I believe that, if we don't use our gifts, then, it's sinful. But, I got to that place and, man, it was just amazing. Like that Matt Alone fight, the first fight we had, I was ready to quit in the 8th and 9th round. He's like, you want me to stop this fight? I haven't done 10 rounds in the gym. And then, so I get in the 10th round. This is another like testimony I'm going to say that the Lord gave me. So I got this energy, man. It was like out of nowhere. And I was bouncing around and I threw a 1-2 at him. So we're moving and everything slowed down. And then I just turned my hook over and as he ran right into it, boom, and he fell. And everything just was like, from there, that made my career. It was like amazing. And yeah, because I was down on the cards. I knocked down in the first round. I think he hit me. Yeah, he hit me in the first round, knocked me down in the back of the head. But just fighting through the middle rounds, it was going back and forth. But in the 8th, I was like, man. But anyways, I'm going to go back to that last round. So I think it was a way that God revealed himself to me, because this guy that was a local Butler guy, he sent me a card. And, he said in the 8th and 9th round, he said, I seen you had nothing. So he said, I prayed for you that God would give you a breath of fresh air so you could have energy in the last round. And that was like how he revealed himself to me, man. I was like, wow, that was amazing, because some things you do in life that you just don't, like you say, man, that wasn't of myself. But, I truly was a divine, like for me to have that experience. Like that's how he revealed himself. Because when we go through things like that in life, man, you're just like, you don't know how you're going to get through them. But, because I thought about it. He's like, you want me to stop it? I was like, my legs were dead. I had nothing left. And then I ended up in the 10th round. Something told me, don't quit. So I was like, I just kept going. And that's one of the things that one of my messages would be, don't ever give up, because you don't know, at the end, you could have that blessing, like not quitting, getting through it. Some people, I mean, there are times when, you're not going to win the fight. Your health is more important than anything. So, but yeah, that was another story. Sorry if I'm getting away off topic.
No, that was really cool, because how many people, how many of your fans actually know about that you were actually about to quit in that fight, and then you caught him and knocked him down.
Yeah, so in the next day we go in to eat. We're at the Trump Taj Mahal, and I was number 5 on top 10 plays of the week. So like everything was like, man, this is like, it was weird. Here I am. I was a worker, mate. I was doing this for extra Christmas money, but I was fighting like every month. I had a matchmaker that, he did a good job for me. I'm not going to say, anything bad about anybody, but I just got to a place where I got that TV fight and it all just worked out. That's what made my career. If I don't beat him, I'm back in there mixing mud and carrying brick and block. So, that's my testimony, what God did for me in my career.
All right. Question 13. What has been the biggest accomplishment in your life?
Biggest accomplishment. I'd say overcoming like all the strongholds that I had in my life, like certain things that I did, we all have a story. We all have things that in our life that we struggle with. So, I would say overcoming a lot of that stuff. I mean, I wasn't a perfect person. Yeah, I used to use drugs and alcohol, and now my life is not that anymore. So I just gave myself to Jesus Christ, and I was baptized, and I was raised in the church, so that wasn't really an issue. I knew, but man, when I was in college and all that, I just fell away. I just got caught up in the darkness and drinking, and then I ended up getting into drugs, and so it was kind of that may be something that people don't know about me. Like I was looking for that fulfillment in, and it wasn't that, instant gratification is not the answer. And that's my message to people. Like I've been there, it doesn't work. That's what I try to tell kids now. They'll come in and, oh, we're going to go do this. I said, yeah, I did that. Guess what? It doesn't work.
Yeah,
It don't work. It don't work. But yeah, just to give people inspire them to try to go out and do something and accomplish it. And nothing's easy, right? You agree with that? Nothing's easy in this stuff.
No, you got to work for it. You got to work for it.
Yeah, and that's what God wants us all to work for things, and we have to and put the effort in. Yeah, because like if I look back on that Matt Alone fight, if I would have quit, like I told you, man, I'd be back on, misery. And it was just one of the things that I was grateful for.
All right, question 14. Who's your favorite action hero in a movie?
Action hero. I mean, as a kid, I would say I liked Batman. So he was one, a Batman and action. Oh, you're saying cartoon. All right. So
like an action hero.
Oh, action hero. I liked Jackie Chan. I thought he was good.
Okay. All right, question 15. What's something that you're very passionate about besides boxing?
I'm an animal lover, dogs. I'm passionate about animals, dogs.
Okay.
Definitely.
Oh,
boxing. Yeah, you're saying nothing besides boxing. Okay, yeah, animals.
Okay. Question 16. Do you have any phobias?
No, not really.
No. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, obviously nobody wants to see any gruesome visions of anything. I don't hunt. I'm not a hunter. I never did. So
okay, I guess that's actually I got two questions from that. I was gonna ask you about that, so I guess we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
All right, question 17. If you could have a boxing match with any fighter in history, alive or dead, who would your ultimate fight be against?
Ultimate fight. Jake Paul.
No.
No. No.
Why not? Tyson's gonna fight him.
That's why I said that, because he's like getting. I don't know. Everybody's got an opinion on things, but I mean, he's green. He definitely he's trying. I'm not gonna bash him. I think
he's a smart. He's a smart businessman. I'll give him that.
Oh yeah, and that's why if he gets Tyson, that'll be probably the most buys that they'll ever see. And
it's not even a real fight. It's an exhibition, but the fans don't understand what an exhibition is. So
yeah, I'm sure they're gonna try to not be like a sparring match. It's gonna probably be like.
Well, that's what they're saying. They're saying there's no knockouts, there's no winner. Now they're even talking about headgear and 18-ounce gloves. So I mean, that's a sparring match.
Yeah, well, that's probably because
Tyson will kill him. That's why. Yeah. And sometimes you can't control Tyson, so that's the problem.
Yeah, he might just take him. Yeah, because he turns on that ego, man.
That's what I mean. That can be risky, because Tyson could get focused, and he could forget that it's supposed to be an exhibition.
Yeah, that would be funny.
But anyways, if you could fight anybody, though, who would you want your ultimate fight to be against?
Roberto Duran. I think he would, because I used to watch him all the time on film. That guy's just an amazing fighter.
Okay.
One of my favorite fights with him was when he beat Iran Barkley. I thought, wow, that was pretty cool watching him skillfully.
All right. Question 18. So now you just mentioned hunting, but do you like to fish or hunt? And you
Yeah,
just
I've fished. I used to fish pretty avidly with the and trout fishing and whatever. But yeah, I just haven't over the years. I haven't gone for a while, so no, I wasn't into hunting. I didn't have a father present. Most guys, their dads take them hunting. I didn't have that. So
Okay. Question 19. What's the last book you read?
I just finished through the NIV Bible, and so I just was on Galatians, which we're studying in church right now. So that was my last thing that I read actually today. So
Okay. All right. Question 20. If you died tomorrow, what would you want your fans, your friends, and your family to say about you?
that I was a good person and considerate of others and had a lot of heart and determined and never, I mean, there's times that I say that, so I'm not going to say that because we all quit sometimes here in life. So, but yeah, no, I just would like to be remembered as somebody that overcame struggles of life and made something for himself.
Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking time to come on and do the random 20 questions. If you want to say anything to the fans before we end, go ahead.
I'd just like to thank everybody who's followed me throughout my career, and I could have never done it without the fans, because without anybody coming to watch, in professional boxing, it's not going to be successful for you. So that would be it. And God bless everybody.
All right, hold on. And with that, the truth has spoken.